Imagine walking into a room full of people, each with their own unique way of thinking, behaving, and communicating. Some are loud and energetic. Others are calm and reflective. Some seem laser-focused on results, while others are more concerned with harmony and relationships. Why is it that we sometimes feel an instant connection with certain people, yet struggle to understand or get along with others? Swedish behavioral expert Thomas Eriksson sought to answer this question in his best-selling book, Surrounded by Idiots. In this exploration, we'll dive deep into Eriksson's model of 4 distinct personality types, analyze their traits, and illustrate their behaviors with excerpts and insights inspired by his work. At the heart of Eriksson's book is a simple but powerful idea. People can be broadly categorized into 4 personality types, each represented by a color: red, yellow, green, and blue. This model is based on the disc theory, originally developed by psychologist William Moulton Marston, but Eriksson brings it to life with vivid examples and practical advice. Understanding these types isn't about labeling people or putting them in boxes, but about improving communication, reducing friction, and fostering better relationships at work and in life. Let's begin by exploring each of the 4 types in detail, examining their core characteristics, motivations, strengths, and challenges. Along the way, we'll weave in illustrative excerpts and scenarios that bring these personalities to life. First, imagine the red type. The red personality is direct, decisive, and driven by results. Reds are the natural leaders, the ones who take charge in a crisis, make quick decisions, and are unafraid to speak their minds. Eriksson describes Reds as action-oriented and competitive, always striving to win and achieve their goals. They are often seen as assertive, sometimes to the point of being aggressive, and they value efficiency and effectiveness above all else. A typical Red might say, "Let's cut to the chase, what's the bottom line?" They dislike small talk and can become impatient with lengthy discussions or indecision. Reds thrive in environments where they can take control, set ambitious targets, and see tangible results. They're not afraid to challenge others or take risks, and they often inspire those around them through their sheer energy and determination. In Eriksson's words, Reds are the ones who get things done. If you want to see results, put a Red in charge. But this strength can also be a weakness. Reds may come across as insensitive or domineering, bulldozing over others' feelings in their quest for success. They can struggle with patience, empathy, and listening, qualities that are vital in building lasting relationships. Consider this excerpt inspired by Eriksson's depiction of a Red leader. When Anna entered the meeting room, the conversation shifted. She scanned the agenda, crossed out 2 items, and said, "We're focusing on what matters. I want solutions, not problems." The team scrambled to keep up with her pace, some energized by her clarity, others left feeling unheard. Next, let's turn to the yellow personality. Yellows are the social butterflies, the creative thinkers, the ones who light up a room with their enthusiasm and optimism. They are driven by relationships, inspiration, and the joy of new ideas. Yellows are natural communicators, often charming and persuasive, able to connect with people from all walks of life. Yellows love brainstorming, exploring possibilities, and thinking outside the box. They're often the source of energy on a team, motivating others with their positivity and vision. A yellow might say, "Imagine if we tried something completely different." They thrive on variety and excitement, and they're quick to see the potential in new opportunities. Eriksson writes, "Yellows are the idea generators, the ones who bring energy and creativity to any situation. They're not afraid to dream big, and their enthusiasm is contagious. However, yellows can also be impulsive, disorganized, and easily distracted. They may struggle to follow through on commitments, preferring to chase the next exciting idea. Details and routines can bore them, and they sometimes overlook practical constraints in their pursuit of innovation." Here's an excerpt inspired by Eriksson's portrayal of a yellow. Jonas bounced into the office, arms full of sketches and plans. "Wait till you see what I've come up with," he exclaimed. The team listened as he painted a vivid picture of a new campaign. Some were swept up in his excitement, while others wondered if this idea, like so many before, would ever reach completion. Now, consider the green personality. Greens are the steady, supportive, and empathetic members of any group. They value harmony, stability, and genuine relationships. Greens are the glue that holds teams together, always willing to listen, help, and mediate conflicts. They dislike confrontation and chaos, preferring a calm and predictable environment. A green might say, "Let's make sure everyone is comfortable with this decision." They are patient, loyal, and dependable, often putting others' needs before their own. Greens are great listeners, sensitive to the feelings of those around them. They excel in roles that require nurturing, support, and collaboration. Erickson notes, "Greens are the peacekeepers. They're the ones you turn to when you need a sympathetic ear or a steady hand. Their presence brings calm to even the most turbulent situations." Yet, Greens can also be resistant to change, overly accommodating, and reluctant to assert themselves. They may avoid difficult conversations, suppressing their own needs to keep the peace. This can lead to frustration and burnout if their own boundaries are not respected. An excerpt inspired by Erickson's depiction of a green might read, "Maria listened quietly as her colleagues debated. When the room grew tense, she gently suggested a compromise. 'Maybe there's a way we can meet in the middle,' she offered." Her calm voice eased the tension, and gradually the group found common ground. Finally, we come to the blue personality. Blues are analytical, detail-oriented, and methodical. They are driven by logic, accuracy, and a desire for understanding. Blues excel at planning, research, and problem-solving. They are careful thinkers, always seeking to gather all the facts before making a decision. A blue might say, "Let's review the data before we proceed." They value precision and consistency. They take pride in their expertise. Blues are often the ones who catch mistakes, ask tough questions, and ensure that projects are executed flawlessly. They are skeptical of vague promises and prefer clear, evidence-based answers. Erickson writes, "Blues are the thinkers, the ones who dig deep and analyze every angle. Their attention to detail ensures that nothing is overlooked. However, blues can also be critical, perfectionistic, and slow to act. Their need for certainty can lead to analysis paralysis, and they may struggle with ambiguity or rapid change. Blues can come across as distant or overly cautious, sometimes missing the human element in their focus on facts." Here's an excerpt inspired by Erickson's portrayal of a blue. When the team proposed a new strategy, Peter asked for the supporting data. He spent hours reviewing reports, highlighting inconsistencies, and preparing a list of questions. Some colleagues appreciated his thoroughness, while others grew impatient with the delays. Having explored each type, it's clear that no one personality is better or worse than another. Each brings unique strengths and perspectives to the table. But the real power of Erickson's model lies in understanding how these types interact and sometimes clash. Reds may see greens as indecisive, while greens find reds too pushy. Yellows might frustrate blues with their lack of structure, while blues may seem cold or overly critical to yellows. These misunderstandings can lead to conflict, miscommunication, and lost opportunities. But when we recognize and appreciate these differences, we can adapt our approach, bridge gaps, and build stronger, more effective teams. Erickson offers practical advice for working with each type. With reds, be direct, concise, and focused on results. Don't waste time on small talk or unnecessary details. With yellows, engage their creativity, listen to their ideas, and maintain a positive, energetic tone. Avoid being overly critical or rigid. With greens, be patient, show genuine care, and create a safe, supportive environment. Don't pressure them into quick decisions or ignore their need for harmony. With blues, provide clear information, respect their need for accuracy, and give them time to analyze. Avoid rushing them or making vague promises. By understanding our own dominant type, we can recognize our strengths and blind spots and learn to adapt our behavior to different situations. For example, a red may need to practice listening and patience, while a yellow might benefit from developing more discipline and follow-through. A green could work on asserting themselves, and a blue might try to embrace flexibility and spontaneity. Erickson also emphasizes that most people are a blend of types, with one or two colors dominating, but elements of all four present. Our personalities can shift depending on context, at work, at home, under stress, or in new environments. The key is to remain open-minded, curious, and willing to learn from others. Consider a workplace scenario where all 4 types must collaborate on a project. The red takes the lead, setting ambitious goals and deadlines. The yellow brainstorms creative solutions, energizing the group. The green ensures everyone feels heard and mediates disagreements. The blue analyzes the data, identifies risks, and ensures the plan is solid. When each type is valued and their contributions integrated, the team becomes greater than the sum of its parts. But what happens when these differences are ignored? Erickson shares stories of teams derailed by misunderstandings. A red manager, frustrated by a green employee's reluctance to speak up, assumes they lack ambition. The green, feeling unheard, withdraws further. A yellow's enthusiasm is dismissed by a blue as unrealistic, leading to resentment. These patterns can create a toxic environment unless addressed with empathy and communication. To avoid these pitfalls, Erickson suggests a few practical steps. First, observe. Pay attention to how people communicate, make decisions, and respond to stress. Second, ask questions. Show genuine curiosity about others' perspectives. Third, adapt. Adjust your style to meet others where they are, rather than expecting them to conform to you. And finally, appreciate. Celebrate the diversity of personalities and the richness they bring to any group. In summary, Surrounded by Idiots offers a powerful framework for understanding human behavior. The red, yellow, green, and blue types each have distinct strengths and challenges, and by recognizing these patterns, we can improve our relationships, reduce conflict, and build more effective teams. Erickson's insights remind us that no one is truly an idiot. We simply see the world through different lenses. By embracing these differences, we open the door to greater empathy, collaboration, and success. So next time you find yourself frustrated by a colleague's behavior, pause and consider, are they really difficult or just different? What color might they be operating from, and how can you adapt your approach to connect more effectively? In doing so, you'll not only enhance your own communication skills, but also contribute to a more harmonious and productive environment, where every personality type has a valued place at the table.